to Change podcast. I'm Mac, and with me, as always, is Mr. Ravi. Ravi, how we doing, brother?
Good. Doing how you doing, man?
Dude, me and Ravi were just going through our massacres of our brackets from this past week. We both, though, we just noticed that I only missed one game in the West. But that does not that's my one highlight because I was
Yeah,
terrible in the other conferences.
same.
But wow, what a crazy start we have had to March Madness. Um, but did you get a chance to watch some of the games this weekend?
Did watched a few of them. Didn't get to watch as much as I'd like, but
You forget how
yeah, it's just
much basketball it is.
oh man, it's a lot. You basically have to be unemployed. Like there's no, I don't know how you work, and I couldn't do it. I'm trying to watch. Like I got the TV on at work, trying to do my best to keep up with it, but then I was just tired. I went to sleep.
Oh, that's so funny. You just literally just called me out. No, I got lucky. I was in Atlantic City. Yeah, I got lucky. I was in Atlantic City at the camp conference, speaking up there. So there, at
Yeah,
least the casinos had them on everywhere. And the session that I spoke at was, it got over at 11. So right after that, me and Randy, we went right to the bar and started watching games, which was actually funny because the first bar we went to, they didn't even have the games on. And I was like, hey,
I went
um,
out twice and they had the wrestling tournament on.
yeah, well,
Let's see.
same. Yeah, same. They had wrestling on. I was like, hey, can we just get one of the games on right now? Like, I think it was the West Virginia game. I think maybe them versus Xavier.
Maryland.
Maryland, yeah. I was like, could we at least just get that game on? Like one of the TVs. Oh my God, I didn't even know it was March Madness. Yeah, yep. It's that time
Yeah,
right
it
now.
is hard.
Yep, it is March. Um,
Crazy.
but yeah, I agree. But then you get into Saturday and at least like the weekend's covered.
Yep.
Um, and we had some good UFC fights, which we won't get into tonight. We'll get into on our Knockout Bets podcast. But then you also had March Madness and UFC going on, which was a London card, which was early. So there was just sports on left and right. It was a good weekend if you're a sports fan. There was lots to watch. Speaking of that, before we get into March Madness, fully into it, some sports highlights and news. We'll start off with the USA is facing Japan right now, so this is Tuesday. So the game will be over by the time this is posted. Um, I haven't been watching it yet. How are they doing, Robbie?
Last I checked, we were still down 3-1 in the fifth inning. One run came from a solo homer from Trey Turner. Man, there's a lot of juice in those bats. These guys can hit the ball. So 2 runs is no big deal. They can overcome that in 1 inning, 2 swings of the bats. That's easy. That's no problem. If our pitching
This
can
is
hold, we
it's
still got a
America.
chance.
It's America's pastime, man. It's America's
You know,
pastime.
this is for
Can't-
Pearl Harbor.
this exactly. This is our revenge game right now. Um, and then I crazy story. The Mets pitcher who got hurt. They just
Yeah.
WBC just came out. They're going to give the Mets $18 million
Wow.
for retributions for it. What's your thoughts on that?
Shocked. I mean, it's part of it. I don't think they should have to give him anything.
Yeah, right. Because
Personally,
like,
it's just a part of it. These guys are playing. You play baseball games outside of it. You play pickup basketball games as an NBA player. Like they're just working on their craft. It's an exhibition game. Injuries happen,
yeah, and
so
I think
I
it's
don't
good.
really understand.
Yeah, it's good for them. Definitely a nice little gesture there to give them something. The Mets have come out that they're going to put it into their bullpen and their I think salary cap, which will be good because that was definitely a big loss that they had. Uh, and it stinks to see someone go down in a game like that. But like you said, there's people that get hurt and pick up basketball games all the time and other outside activities or, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
DUIs,
not gonna get to hear
things.
Timmy Trumpets play narco when he comes out all season long.
I know, right?
It'd be disappointing.
I know Frank the Tank over at Barstool was pissed. He had a big old rant on that. He pretty
Yeah.
much he pretty much said the Mets season is over right now. Other news, Aaron Rodgers still hasn't signed with the Jets. That's all I'm going to say about that.
We're trying to get him on for next week. We're working on it. A-Rod, if you hear this, go on, just reach out to us. Love to have you on, but
Aaron, we'll give you an unbiased pick, buddy. Come on.
yeah.
And then you got Cam Newton posted a TikTok today, pretty much calling out every single quarterback in the NFL, saying everyone's a bum and that he is better than all 32 teams and that there are bums that are getting jobs over him. What do you think? Is Cam Newton still relevant?
He isn't getting out. I mean, his arm was pretty bum when he went out of the league. It didn't look that bad though when he was throwing those passes there. It looked like his shoulders finally might have healed up. There at the end of his career, his shoulder was so banged up though, dude couldn't throw the ball 20 yards down the field. So if he's back healthy again, yeah, I think Cam Newton's probably better than, I don't know. I'm not saying he's a top 10 quarterback, but I don't think he's outside of the top 35. You can't tell me there's 40, 50 quarterbacks that are better than Cam Newton in the world right now. He couldn't
No,
go be a backup somewhere.
no, not at all. I think Cam going to the Pats was a big mistake. I don't think that was the right move for him.
It wasn't a good fit.
It wasn't, not with Belichick. So that was not gonna go well at all, I think. But I do agree, like he definitely could have fit in, I think, better than the Raiders, Jimmy G at the Raiders. I think he could
Yeah.
be I mean, congrats to Baker signing with Tampa Bay, but I think he could have done well in Tampa Bay. Like, I mean, Miami as a backup with the question marks that's going on with Tua, go back to the Panthers, like there's a lot of teams. The Jets, if Aaron Rodgers can't fit, even going to the Packers, if they can't, I mean, I think they're right. There's lots of teams that could really benefit from having Cam Newton.
How nuts would it be though if the Jets made all these trade signings based on Aaron Rodgers coming and then they can't come to an agreement?
Oh, that would be, I that would be wild. I don't.
That's a
I
lot to take in.
the fact that we're still even here talking about it and he still hasn't made a decision is just insane,
Yeah.
insane. Um.
Drugs.
Well, we'll see. I wish Cam Newton the best of luck. I hope that he finds some place to go because I think you're right. I think he is still
Fun
relevant.
to watch.
He's fun to watch. Kind of like we were talking about with Jameis. It's just like he's fun to watch. He's a character. You want to see him do well.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see how he is not on a team right now.
Yeah, I really thought it was more of he didn't want to play football anymore. It was the way that I thought. I thought he was just, my body's banged up. I did what I did. I got mine. I'm out. But maybe that was something a little different. Did he not have any offers?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, yeah, he kind of like went quiet. He kind of like went off the radar right now. Heck, could you see something crazy if Ravens and Lamar can't come to agreements? Is Cam Newton going to Baltimore?
Oh man, that'd be a great fit. I would hate to see it unless he can't throw the ball again. Then all right. But if Cam's healthy, I'd hate to see him in Baltimore. I
Dude,
mean, I think it'd do well, but as an AFC North fan, I don't want that.
dude, that would be insane. That would be nuts to see that. What a how the turntables. Um, all right. Well, let's jump right back into March Madness. Um, so wow, great craziness that has pursued in March Madness. Props to FDU and their amazing upset of Purdue. Definitely did not see that one. But wow. And Tobin, I love that coach. He was great. I love that. That was an epic performance. What about you? What are some other standout games for you on those first two rounds?
That one, and man, Virginia just can't do it.
Dude.
They just how many times have they been upset by like dang near 9-10 seed difference in the first round in the last decade? That's 4-5 times it feels like. I
Oh,
don't know.
Virginia.
Whew.
Mountain Mama. Take me
Yeah,
home.
shout out to Furman, whatever they are,
Yeah,
Paladins or
Farley Dickinson Knights.
yeah.
Good for them. I love they showed their marketing director as a junior at the school. That's amazing. He was sitting at the scores table.
Yeah, we
Um,
pay them in pizza once a month on Saturdays.
right. I think for me, I think the scariest team right now, who I really like, is Kansas State. I think that they've been good kind of all year, and they've been kind of that sleeper pick, and they've been just putting it two teams. I think for me, I've taken them to win it all on a future. I really like them. Also, um, I hate to say it, but freaking Creighton, I hate Creighton. No reason, just don't like them. But they've been playing really, really well.
Yeah, man. One that, now that Kentucky's out, so my pick to win it all is gone. I had UCLA going to the chip with them. And I also have UCLA as one of my teams that we got 4 teams, one from each bracket at work that we picked out of a hat. UCLA is one of my 4 teams. So
Who's your other three?
my other 3 were Tennessee, Indiana,
Oh,
and then I had Texas A&M. Was it Corpus Christi or Community College,
oh
whatever?
God, you got the plan.
Southeast.
Oh
Yeah, I got to
God.
play in.
Well, you
That's
still
all
got
right. I
two
still got
alive.
2 left. Still got 2 left. Out of the Sweet 16, we have 5 guys that have 2, and then 6 guys that have 1. So there's still a chance.
Oh, you definitely have, dude. If you have two teams left for the Final Four, you definitely have a chance. I think it all comes down to your Final Fours. Because those are the most points, anyways. Um,
Mhm.
Also, Miami's looking dangerous, bro. So Miami upset Indiana, and I tell
Yeah,
you what, Trace Jackson, he is not going to do well in the NBA if that's how he's going to perform in a game like that. That kid reminded me of Tatum. So watching him reminded me of Tatum. When that dude turns it on, he is the best player on the court. And when he's not trying, he is literally useless. And the
that's
amount of
fair.
times I watched him walk up and down the court, there were rebounds that were right in front of him that he watched just go by. There were times where, like, oh, okay, yeah, you went and made a nice block, but like, what about when your teammate got beat and you didn't step up and you let the guy drive by you or you get dunked on? It's like, what are you doing, man? You're not doing anything for your team. And he was just he looked out of sorts. I don't think you can play like that in the NBA though and get by.
Yeah. I mean, you have to be a super elite level to be able to not care on most nights and still have a job. Because if you're average, which even a lot of the guys that are great in college, they're average at the NBA. If you're average with a bad attitude, you'll be out of the league in a handful of years.
Yeah, it was a pitiful performance to watch. I I'm and again I was a big Trace Jackson fan, but after watching that game, he looked shook up about the pressure that Miami, and Miami's playing fast and they're good. So I really do like Miami. I think they're a team to look at for an upset here. So that brings us to our Sweet 16. So out of the South, our first game, we have Alabama, San Diego State. Who you got for this one?
It hurts me to say this, but roll tide.
Yeah, dude, Roll Tide for sure. I think their guards are some of the best in NCAA right now. I think they have some of the most dangerous 3-point shooters. I think Alabama gets this one done. I still have Alabama as winning the whole thing. Um, I had them against Indiana. That's not happening anymore. But yeah, I'm still high on Alabama. I think San Diego State's been great up until this point. But again, I think Alabama is too fast and their guards are just too good.
Yep.
Um, Next we got Creighton versus Princeton. Dude, Princeton's been coming out of nowhere. I remember them in their conference championship against Yale. They put it on Yale. and they were pretty big underdogs. I think they were like 14-point underdogs against Yale and won the conference. How do you see this one playing out?
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I totally thought that Baylor won, and I'm just realizing that I missed even more games on that left side of the bracket than I had thought. Like I just get damn. So let me check this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games total. Excuse me, 6. 6 games total on the left side of the bracket in the first 2 rounds correctly. That's
Whoa,
rough.
that is that is really bad.
Hey, but if I only look at the right side of the bracket, I only missed 2.
We said this before too. This was the tougher side to call for sure.
Yeah.
You can fact check us on
Whew.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Creighton's got this big center. I don't know his name. Don't even want to know his name because I've been betting against him the whole tournament. I'm just getting upset with him. He's like 7 foot. But I'm just because I don't like him, and I have nothing against him. I don't even know your name. I'm not even gonna fact check your
The
name.
space.
But I'm going Princeton in this one. Upset.
Let's do it. Go Tigers.
Let's go. Go Tigers. Ivy League, baby. All right, FAU versus Tennessee. Tennessee has been one of the toughest teams in NCAA. FAU, I will admit though, um, their guards have been playing. They play at a really extremely high level, but they they won in
They got huge.
a grimy game against FDU, who is a 16th seed. I see
Yeah.
Tennessee is taking this one. What do you see? What do you think is?
I think that the basketball gods are going to reap down on FAU after that attempted windmill dunk up 10 as time expired. I think Tennessee is going to wax them. Plus 15.
Oh, I like that. That's a good one. Take the spread. Next up, we got Kansas State, Michigan State. I can't trust the Big Ten, and I think they're the only. Are they the only Big Ten still alive right now? Yes.
Oh, yes, they are.
And
Yep.
I'm not taking them because you know what? It's funny. Me and you said it all week last week. Don't trust the Big Ten. Don't trust the Big
Yep.
Ten. And I still bet the Big Ten, and I can't believe I did it. I'm not doing this again, Robbie. I am going against Kansas State, and I love Kansas State. I've loved them all season long. I think Kansas State gets this one done.
Yeah, as much as I love Coach Izzo, always been a fan of his. I just don't see it happening. Kansas State's just got too many athletes for Michigan State to keep up with this year.
Way too many, and we talk about consistency goes a long way in this tournament, and they've been just consistent all year. I think that was one of Indiana's problems is they had a really bad January, and that just kind of just showed up in the tournament. I think Kansas State's been just strong all year. I think that they can get this done. Next up, we got Houston, Miami. I'm telling you right now, watching that Miami game, those Miami, I stand corrected because I said that they were going to struggle because they had some injuries, but they're starting 5 and a couple guys have come back. Miami is so quick and they play at such a fast pace. I'm really liking Miami here.
So I had Indiana upset in Houston. Miami beating Indiana was the only game that I picked wrong in the first 2 rounds in the Midwest. And I'm going to stick with Houston still falling. Miami's just going to be the one pulling the upset.
I think they're just so fast. And like, here's the thing. When you full court press them, it makes them even better. And when you have to play fast against them because you get down, that plays right into their hands. So it's like, and it kind of reminds me of when Houston was playing Memphis in their conference tournament, when Memphis kind of got up big on Houston had to play fast. I kind of see a similar thing happening of like Miami getting out to a really fast start, Houston having to pick up the pace, and then that just falls right into Miami's hands. So I agree with you. I think this game suits Miami's personnel. I like
There's
Miami
the
here.
upset alert.
All right. Next up, it's all about the U, baby. Next up, we got Xavier versus Texas. This one's a tough one because on paper, Xavier's had a great season, but I think Texas has been just really, again, consistent all year. I'm really favoring the Longhorns on this one. What about you?
Yeah, I have Texas going to the Final Four out of the Midwest in my bracket. As much as I want to pull for Xavier being an Ohio team, having a guy from high school that went and played there, I just feel Texas has got the better overall team. I think they can make a run. I think Texas could go all the way. They could
I
be a
do
dark
too.
horse that nobody really talks about, but they have enough talent and they've been consistent enough throughout the season.
I agree with you there. I think Texas, they're to me of the 16 that are on the board, I like them in Alabama right now. I really like I agree with you. I like Texas here. Um all right, Arkansas, Yukon. The Razorbacks have been kind of dangerous, but the Yukon Huskies have always been just a staple. They've been kind of just like where I'm trying to look at their last games. So that's the thing. Yukon, they won by 15 in the second round. They've been just like demolishing teams on the way in, but no one's really talking about them. Arkansas is a tough team. This one's a tough matchup. Like I see this as either Arkansas winning a close Grammy game or UConn could just pull another just 20, 15, 20 point victory on here.
Yeah,
What's your gut telling you?
I got UConn winning it here too. I had Arkansas pulling the upset over Kansas, and the Huskies have a fun team. And like you said, they've been hot at the right time.
They've
They're
been
playing
just
their
taking
best
care of
basketball of the
business.
season lately.
They're just taking care of business. Like they're doing what a 4 seed should do, right? Is they're winning games decidingly. But no one's really talking about them right now. I don't know why. Everyone's kind of like all in on like, Alabama teams like, even Purdue, but no one's really talking about UConn, and they've been the one that's just taking care of business. Um, I agree with you. I think I got UConn winning this one too. I think the Huskies get it done. And then that brings us to the final game over in the West. UCLA Gonzaga. I got to pull for UCLA in this one.
Oh yeah, that's it. I got UCLA, like I said, going to the championship in my bracket. Got them in my team that I picked out of a hat. So I feel that it's the team that I have the best chance of winning it all for me.
I
So
UCLA has been great. I do think if they do win, and if UConn wins, I do think they're going to have their hands full with the Huskies. The
and
Huskies.
I was misspoken on the guy from UCLA's name last week. I called him what I call him Javier Jaquez.
Jaquez, yeah,
But
that you got
I did
corrected on
look it up. He
TikTok.
is only in his fifth season, but I swear he's been playing at UCLA for the last 9 years.
The
So I don't know
TikTok,
how that happened.
the TikTok warriors, the keyboard warriors corrected you on that one for sure. It's all
Uh,
right though. It made for good content.
that's all right.
All right, well that brings us out of the Sweet 16. We'll see how it goes. I think for best bets, if you're looking for teams to take points on at least, maybe if you're not confident enough in money line, I think taking Princeton points. I think you take Kansas State points. I think you take Miami points. And I know that Arkansas is or UCLA is probably going to get some points against Gonzaga, so I would probably take some points against that right now. Those are ones who I think I could see as some upsets if you're not brave enough to take money lines. I think those ones you take the points on those guys. All right, man. Well, we'll see what happens. What's the score of this baseball game right now?
Let me see if I can pull it up. I don't know if it's going to
Two,
kick me.
three, bottom of the eighth, 2-3.
I'm on. All right, so we're getting off in good time. We're gonna go watch USA bring this home. I'm
Let's
calling it
go.
right now. 10th inning walk off. Or wait, are we the home team? Is walk off even possible? I should have
No,
checked that before.
we are
No.
the away team right now,
All
but
right. Well, we're gonna win in the
still
10th way.
walk off.
No, no walk off. No, no. Oh shoot.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. We can't wait to hopefully be better this week than we were last week on March Madness.
And hey, if we don't, we'll still be back.
Because what do we know?
We need to make a shirt with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, what do we know? It's
What do we know?
gamble responsibly. I had so many people this weekend. I was at a cornhole event, and so many people this weekend were like, "Oh man, we love your bets," and I was like, "No, stop. Gamble responsibly. Here is the Gamblers Anonymous line. Do not rely on
Yeah.
me. I do not want to be your downfall for you losing your mortgage." Everyone, thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate your support. Make sure you hit that like, share, subscribe, and as always, make sure keep the change.
See everybody.